The first presentation in the symposium will look at the core constructs and conceptual frameworks for motor skill intervention fidelity. I think we're all in agreement that motor skill interventions improve the fundamental motor skill competence of young children. However, a key issue of this literature is intervention fidelity. Many studies do not measure intervention fidelity or only measure limited or simplistic elements of it. So the goal of this presentation is to provide an overview of the core constructs of intervention fidelity and provide examples of intervention fidelity from our line of work. In the intervention fidelity area, there are three big constructs of fidelity: usability, feasibility, and fidelity of implementation. Today, we're going to look at the issue of usability and fidelity of implementation. We looked at two big bodies of work. The first came from the area of education, where 6 core constructs of fidelity were identified. The second area was the NIH Behavior Change Consortium Fidelity Recommendations, where there were 5 areas of theory and application. For the purposes of this presentation, we identified these aspects of fidelity to examine because they are the ones that are not done so well in our literature. The first area is in the training of treatment providers. It's important you identify the skills and the knowledge that teachers need in order to be able to deliver the intervention. Then to map the goals of the training onto fidelity assessments to demonstrate that teachers have actually mastered these core skills and knowledge that you have provided in your training. Within our SCIP work, we identified a set of core knowledge and skills in order to be able to deliver the SCIP motor skill intervention. In this slide, you see the core elements of the SCIP lesson on the left-hand side and the mapping onto specific fidelity assessments on the right-hand side. So for example, we believe that teachers needed to know the developmental sequences of fundamental motor skills, and in order to examine whether they did, we asked them to perform these skills in the gym upon a verbal prompt. The data that is shown in this table demonstrates and documents that teachers actually learned the key elements of the training that was provided, and specifically here, developmental stages, demonstration, and being able to teach a mini lesson. In Allie's study, she not only thought it was important teachers learned the fundamental motor skills, but also how to apply them within an evaluative cycle of individualized instruction. And so she developed a video exam in order to document the teacher's effectiveness in being able to do this. So overall, we believe that we need to develop fidelity measures for the following indicators of teacher training. The second area deals with fidelity of implementation of the actual intervention itself, both in terms of what the intervention looks like, but also the quality of the implementation. For our SCIP work, we identify core intervention lesson elements, such as these listed on the slide. And then we videotaped all of the lesson plans and coded these core elements off the videotape using our fidelity instrument. We either used a dichotomous checklist, such as present or absent, or a quality checklist that looked at the extent to which something was done. If you're not able to videotape lessons, a secondary practice in this area would be to have the teacher complete a checklist after they have taught the lesson to ensure that they are delivering the elements that are necessary. In Allie's study, she coded fidelity from the videotape of each lessons using both level 1 core elements and level 2 highly desired elements. In Rohrer's study, she broke fidelity down into fidelity of activity and fidelity of pedagogy. This table shows the kind of data we would provide to document the fidelity of the intervention. As you can see, teachers' fidelity improved across the intervention with a mean of 77%. This third area looked at participant responsiveness to the intervention. And you might click things like practice trials or timing ALT-PE here. The tougher area is the notion of enactment of skills, and so some of the things we've done to look at how their children apply fundamental motor skills is how they use them on the playground or parental report of play at home. It is important that we also differentiate between our experimental and control conditions and have evidence that they are indeed different. Overall, our intervention fidelity recommendations are to take a broad view of intervention fidelity, including some of the different constructs that we have identified here today. We believe that, like the iceberg, we are not capturing a lot in our interventions, and through good intervention fidelity measures, we will be able to capture much more of what is going on under the level of the intervention. I would like to acknowledge my academic children and my amazing family who put up with me missing a lot of the time.